where is it now in the process? These recommendations are coming out. What happens from here?
These recommendations will be taken forward to the Board of Trustees by the President. He will take those forward at the April 16th board meeting, and then the board will review those and endorse those. It's not the finalization of the 2011 budget. That will happen at the June board meeting.
Okay, so when is that meeting, and where is that meeting? Which campus is
The
it?
April 16th meeting is here on campus, as is the June meeting.
Okay.
Down in Walter Hall.
Right. And so what is the total percent that's going to be cut from the budget?
Well, the percentages differ, but depending on the units. So the academic units had a smaller percentage reduction than the non-academic. The support units is what we refer to those as. And the academic units, this is why I need my cheat sheet, 5.43, is that what that says? Far right column. 5.
Yes.
Okay, so the academic units sustained a 5.43% reduction, and the support units sustained about a percentage higher than that, a 6.5% reduction.
And what all is in those, the support units? What's involved?
Support units are everything from custodial and finance and administration, payroll, student affairs, student services, those sorts of things, non-academic units, so it's kind of outside of the colleges.
Now, how many layoffs will there be?
We anticipate there will be 47 layoffs at this point.
And where will those come from?
Those are from all over. There are no Group 1 faculty involved in those layoffs. There are classified staff, administrative staff, and some Group 2 and some Group 4 faculty.
Okay. And what about, how many people will then receive reduced hours?
That, I don't have specific data on that. I know that those are some creative things that different units have been doing. For example, here in our office, we have a person who has reduced her hours, and so she's going from a 1.0 FTE to a 0.75 FTE, so she's cut her hours by about 25%. And those kinds of things are happening all around the university, but we don't have a tally of that.
Okay. And how many people will, what are the main departments that are going to see the job cuts?
It's spread absolutely across the university.
Okay.
Absolutely across the university, administrative units and academic units.
Okay, because I know before, when I talked to Pam Benoit, she said a lot of them were going to come from the provost's office.
There are some in the provost's office, certainly, but certainly not all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was this with the 2% raises? How will that be involved in the budget?
The initial recommendations that had gone forward several months ago were looking at a budget planning assumption of a 2% merit raise pool for all faculty and staff. And as the planning units began to bring in their recommendations for their reallocations or their reductions, it became clear that if a 2% increase were to be funded for all faculty and staff, that would significantly impact instructional capacity. In other words, for the university to be able to afford a 2% merit raise pool for faculty and staff, it would have cost faculty, Group 2 and Group 4 faculty that teach general education and other sections. So in continuing to evaluate as planning units were bringing in their information, it became clear that to preserve instructional capacity, it would be necessary to not look at that original assumption of 2%, but to look at a lesser increase of 1%. And the decision was to make it not merit, but to make it across the board. So a 1% across the board increase for faculty and staff. That is in addition to funds that are in place for faculty promotion and tenure, and there is an additional $750,000 in the budget that will be provided for faculty if enrollment targets for the fall are exceeded.
And one of the proposals was to have a parking fee for faculty and staff. Is that part of this budget?
It is not. The discussions on the parking fee, the new parking program, those discussions are still underway and will move forward over the next several months. There is nothing in this budget recommendation related to that.
Okay. So what's next with everything? What does it look like for next year with the budget cuts?
What it looks like is that everyone will experience some amount of change, whether it's losing staff within their unit, or for a student potentially not seeing a class offered that might have been something that they had on their radar that they wanted to take in the fall. But to the extent that we can, we're preserving those key course sections that are important as general education and are important for majors to complete their degrees.
Okay. And the university just received money from diagnostic hybrids. How is that involved with the budget?
That money it belongs to the foundation, and there is a specific donor who has made it clear that what he wants to happen with the cash proceeds of his portion of that sale of diagnostic hybrids, he wants those funds to go to the Cutler Scholars Program. So those will go to the Cutler Scholars Program.
Okay, so it won't have any impact
It
on
will
the-
not have any effect on the university budget as a whole. However, any program that we have where there are scholarships involved, it's very, very important, and we're very grateful for that cash influx to the Cutler Scholars Program. Very grateful.
And what will happen to other scholarship programs with these budget cuts, like the Gateway Scholars Program?
That's another decision that's been made, is to the extent possible, scholarships are being preserved. And in fact, scholarship support for students is increasing in this next year. So we have new money that's going to be applied to students who are eligible for what was the Ohio College Opportunity Grant. Those are students who are in a need-based program, and the university wants to be able to help those students to the extent possible as well. So there is significant money being put into scholarships as well.
Did Sherry send another question that I thought I heard on my phone? She said she might. No. Okay, sorry. Is there anything else that you would like to add about the budget cuts? Can there be any more changes to what's being proposed?
It would be changes that the board would make. It would be, and of course that's the board's prerogative. They approve the final budget in June. They will give some feedback and some reaction at the April meeting about how they feel about these recommendations that are going forward. Again, this is not the whole budget. These are the recommendations for reallocation so that we can put the top academic priorities first. And that means teaching, and that means student scholarships. And to the extent possible, everything about that core academic function was preserved. And that's an important part of this process. I think the other important part of the process that has occurred is the extreme involvement of all folks in the university community. Students have been involved. Faculty have been involved, staff have been involved. Across the board, people have had the opportunity, if they chose to participate, to go to a forum, to share a suggestion on a website, to let their thoughts and their ideas and their creativity be known. And we're following up on a lot of those suggestions and ideas.
Now, what impact will the budget cuts have on the athletic department?
The athletic department has taken $600,000 in cuts, and I can't speak to the specifics of what they're doing over there, but like any unit, they have looked at where they can get cost and expenditure out of their system, but maintain their core function.
And which unit is seeing the largest cut within academics? I'm not sure if you know the percentage.
The percentages, I'd have to look that up for you. I can give that to you off camera, and then you can use that if you want to use it in your voiceover. So, yeah, I'll look that up. But percentage-wise, I'd have to look that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Just thanks to the entire university community for being so involved and active in this process. It's an important part of shared governance to make voices heard and to share ideas and to be creative. It's a wonderful university community with people coming together and sharing ideas about how we can best serve students, and that's why we're all here.